If you raise $180,000 for a sick child, and you take $42,000 for yourself across 2 years, and the child dies before you account for any of it, what kind of person are you? My cousin Jess's daughter Mia was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder in the spring of 2022. She was 4. The disorder was, I am not going to name it specifically because there are not a lot of children in the US who have it, and it would identify her family. The disorder was the kind that does not have a treatment, that has a known progression, that ends a child's life somewhere between 5 and 10 if she is lucky and earlier if she is not. Jess and her husband Brian were already underwater financially before the diagnosis. Brian works in maintenance for a school district. Jess had been a nurse, but had to stop working when Mia's needs escalated. The diagnosis added home modifications, equipment, specialists, travel to Boston and Philadelphia. The bills were terrifying. I started the GoFundMe in May of 2022. I had organizing experience. I had a good social media presence. I knew how to write the kind of posts that would travel. The campaign was called Mia's Light. The first round went viral in our state. We raised $70,000 in 3 weeks. The second round, 6 months later, raised another 60. The third round in 2023 raised 50 more. All told, over 2 years, we raised $180,000. The money went into a checking account I had set up under a small nonprofit I had filed paperwork for in May of 2022. The account was in my name as president of the nonprofit. I was the only signer. Most of the money went where it was supposed to go. I want to say that. About $138,000 went to Mia's family, for the equipment, for the travel, for the medical bills, for the home modifications. $42,000 did not go to Mia's family. I took it in pieces. The first time was June of 2022. I moved $3,000 out of the nonprofit account into my own account. I told myself I had been doing the work. I had been managing the campaign for 50 hours a week. I had not been billing my consulting clients. I had earned a small management fee. I told myself a real nonprofit would have paid a real executive director, and a real executive director would have made more than $3,000 a month. I moved another $3,000 in August. I moved 5 in November. I moved 6 in March of 2023. I moved 15 in August of 2023 when my own daughter, who is healthy, needed a kind of orthodontia that insurance was not going to cover. I moved 10 more in December because Christmas had been expensive. I did not stop telling myself I had earned it. I told myself I would put it back. I told myself if Mia's family had a year when the medical bills slowed, I would top the fund back up. I told myself a lot of things in the dark. Mia died in February of 2024. The decline at the end was fast. She was in hospice for 6 days. She was 7. Jess and Brian were with her. I was at the hospital the night she went. I sat in the waiting room with my cousin's mother and my husband, and I held a coffee, and I cried because Mia was a real child who I had loved. I closed the GoFundMe the week after the funeral. I told the family the remaining funds would go toward Mia's outstanding medical bills, which they did, about $19,000. The remainder, including the 42 I had taken, was on paper accounted for as campaign costs and administrative reserves. Nobody asked for an audit. Nobody would. Why would they? Jess and Brian thanked me at the funeral. Brian hugged me at the cemetery, and he said that Mia's light was the only reason they had been able to get through any of it. He said it in the rain. He was wearing the only suit he owned. Jess sent me a Christmas card in December. It had a picture of Mia on the front from the year before she got sick. The card said, "Thank you for everything." I have it on the mantle. I have not been able to look at the mantle since I put it there. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments.